Top 10 long prison sentences given in the USA. Hello again, welcome to our channel. In this video, we'll be sharing the top 10 long prison sentences given in the United States. If you are interested in more videos like this, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon. Now, let's get started. Here are the 10 longest prison sentences ever handed down to a person in the United States. Number 10. Charles Scott Robinson. In 1994, a jury recommended 5,000 years in prison for each child rape for Charles Scott Robinson, a child rapist in Oklahoma. Then District Judge Dan Owens found him guilty on 6 counts successively, so that he was given a prison sentence that was doubled to 30,000 years. Unbelievable, right? The jury recommended 5,000 years for each proven rape of a child, and the judge ruled that all sentences should be served sequentially. Number 9. James Kevin Smith. The father of the family, who lived in Parker County, Texas, decided not to seek sexual pleasure on the side, but used his 3 daughters. He claimed it was with their voluntary consent. Moreover, Smith radically eased the burden of proof for the prosecution when, in a telephone conversation on record with his mother from prison, although not in plain text, he confessed to the crime. Ultimately, the jury found him guilty on all 43 counts. He got 40 life sentences and 60 years in prison. Number 8. Dudley Wayne Kaiser. In 1981, Kaiser, an Alabama resident, was sentenced to death for the murders of his wife in 1976, mother-in-law, and another man. The appellate court overturned the decision on procedural grounds, and in the second trial, the jury set the final sentence. The court sentenced him to 10,000 years in prison. However, state laws allowed him to apply for parole after 10 years. In 2011, Kaiser tried to exercise this right for the 9th time, unsuccessfully like all the previous 8 times. Now he is waiting for the next attempt. Number 7. James Egan Holmes. James Egan Holmes is known as the person responsible for the shooting of Aurora, Colorado in 2012. Holmes walked into a movie theater that was showing the middle film night The Dark Knight Rises while lighting tear gas grenades and shooting brutally at the audience. Holmes killed a total of 12 people, injured 70 others, and received separate life sentences for each victim who died for his actions. This shooting is said to have had the most casualties of all shootings since the Columbine Massacre of 1999. He was sentenced to 3,318 years and 12 life imprisonment in 2015 for his crime of mass murder. Number 6. Rene Lopez. The longest prison sentence in the history of the Fresno High Court was handed down to Rene Lopez for sexually abusing his daughter for 4 years. His daughter was first harassed by one of his family friends. After that, instead of protecting her, Lopez actually added to the trauma of his child by also abusing her. Ironically, he blamed his daughter for the incident and did not express any regrets. This led Judge Edward Sarkisian Jr. to describe him as a serious danger to society and sentenced him to 1,503 years in 2017. Number 5. Billy Joe Godfrey. Billy Joe Godfrey sexually abused 2 children aged between 8 and 13 years from 1995 to 1999. Godfrey pleaded guilty, and lawyer Brendan Fox called this one of the most awful cases he had ever seen. Godfrey asks for a chance to die outside prison, but he was refused. When Judge Ronald White delivered justice, he declared that Godfrey would never breathe free air. He was sentenced to 1,050 years or 35 life imprisonment in 2015 for his crime of child abuse. Number 4. Bobby Joe Long. Bobby Joe, also known as Robert Joseph Long, terrorized the entire Tampa Bay area of Florida for 8 years in a serial murder case in 1984. He kidnapped, sexually abused, and killed at least 10 women, including Lisa McVeigh, who was later free. McVeigh played a key role in providing law enforcement officials with the information they needed to eventually track down Long and bring him to justice. He was sentenced to 28 life sentences, 99 years in prison, and a death sentence in 1985. Number 3. Juan Vallejo Corona. Juan Corona was convicted of the murder of 25 seasonal workers who worked under him in various orchards in California in the spring of 1971. The prosecution believed that there were more victims, but the bodies were never found. In 1978, the California Court of Appeals overturned the conviction and remitted the case. A Crown attorney was able to convince the court that the lawyers who defended in the first trial had made grave mistakes. The jury deliberated for a total of 52 hours, but delivered the same judgment. On December 5, 2011, Corona was denied early release for the 6th time. He will make the next attempt if he lives. Of course, now he is already 80 years old. Number 2. Alan Wayne McLaurin. Initially, the term of imprisonment of McLaurin was 21,000 years. He received it for kidnapping, several rapes, and robbery. But the offender and his accomplice, Darren Anderson, decided to appeal the sentence, and this time McLaurin's sentence was reduced by 500 years in 1996. Number 1. Darren Benelfold Anderson. The original term of imprisonment for Anderson, an accomplice of Alan McLaurin, was only 21,000 years. The appeal against the verdict resulted in a 5-fold increase in the term. The sentence was increased by 9,500 years. Anderson received his final sentence in 1996. That's it for today. Thank you for watching the video, and be sure to comment on which ruling surprised you.